Alright, so everybody can see. That looks about right to me. Just checking to make sure everything is set up properly, and it is. So I just sent out the notification that I was going to be streaming some Inspirobot. This is AI generated motivational, inspirational quotes, and quote unquote, doing so for endless enrichment of pointless human existence. For example, sometimes some of these quotes will end up being surprisingly good and meaningful, then there's other times where it just completely fucks up. Investigate the wealth, not the memories. There's far weirder quotes. This one's actually pretty uplifting. You are presentable. You are intelligent. You are human. When are we gonna get some really crazy ones? Feeling confused? That's okay. Nothing too crazy yet. Somebody should wear drag. You can be that someone. Mind altering substances begins with ritual sacrifice. It's your choice. And then you'll get weird ones like that barely make any sense. I'm not getting too many crazy ones. Act like men. Life without pants is freaky. Men fantasize about what retards annihilate. What? Without victories, there can be no use of words. It just keeps going on and on. You could pretty much do this all day if you wanted to. Only by the sensation of implementation will one be able to achieve the demonic possession of dignity. If you actually need joy, search within yourself. Some of these are actually really good, like this one, or you're intelligent, you're human. Without pains, there can be no genius. First comes the madness, then comes the fire. I might play around with this for like a couple more minutes and then I'll start the mindfulness mode part of the stream, which is what I really want to get into. A soul can be like an incredible bum trip of death. That doesn't make sense, really. Quality time celebrity. If we can tear down the walls of Earth, we can tear down the walls of the military industrial complex. There's a correlation between gullibility and femininity. Oh, hi there, Extreme Wrecker. Eating dinner? Cut your hair and get a job. So, yes, this is AI generated motivational posters and quotes. So, you ever seen these motivational posters? I'm sure you have all the time, but this is what it would look like if a robot tried to make them on the fly. Just gave it a bunch of stock images and fonts to work with, and then maybe have it just read over some other motivational quotes and posters to learn from, and then just try and jumble up some phrases by itself whenever you hit generate. So I'm guessing maybe this thing learns on its own from actually just reading pre-existing motivational quotes that are made by real people, and it tries to learn from there, but it's definitely not perfect by any means. Rule 11. Eat raw meat while you're young. And then you get quotes like this. Just silly. In each and every mystery, there's brain damage. Swallow corpses. Stay pleasurable. Ew. Make sure people know that you are remarkably sensational. Surprisingly, yes, you're absolutely right about that. A flower is a manifestation chasing a rainbow. Oh, physicist, welcome to the stream. So these are just motivational posters that are being made by a robot. Sometimes they somehow work, other times it's just total random shit that just makes you laugh at how ridiculous it is. Like, realizing that you are a criminal is what makes you evolve from a fish. Oh, Pungshaku ever Mega Maker. I'm assuming that's to build your own custom Mega Man levels. I think I've heard of that. With another poetry comes another erection. Okay, I said I was gonna maybe play around with the motivational posters for like about 2, 3 more minutes. It's been 2 to 3 minutes. So let's actually get into the meat and potatoes of what this stream's gonna be about, mindfulness mode. It's gonna instruct me to turn my speakers up. Yes, there's gonna be music playing in the background. And there's gonna be more motivational quotes and insights, just like what you are seeing now. Still robot generating it, but also a robot's gonna read it too.
Close your eyes and take a deep breath. In and out. Someday you must take ownership of your best friend's wife.
Yep.
What employers dream up, employees resurrect.
Okay. Someday you should try and take ownership of your best friend's wife. I don't know about that.
Sense that Thetans are Thetans because some higher power thought we could use some Thetans?
Dude, what are thetans?
Focus on your breathing.
I don't think I'll be able to focus on my breathing very hard if I'm thinking about, I don't know, taking ownership of my best friend's wife.
Dream about the eternity, and only then will you receive a human touch. You are a valuable guy.
Oh, thank you. I know that already.
Once upon a time, in
That's
the early
definitely a
Middle
flip thing.
Ages, there was a dim-witted emperor who was trying to find a butterfly.
Dim-witted, alright.
An unmarried mother.
How?
Can you tell me where in the kingdom I can find a butterfly? He asked the mother. The mother did not have to think at all. I do not know, said the mother. The emperor considered the mother's answer. Then he asked her to marry him, and she accepted. Later in the evening, when he was conversing with his lover,
That was easy.
the emperor had a stroke of insight. Much treasured is he who is known for his cart, for he also masters his ideas. And he knew that his life was nothing to brag about. Focus on your breathing.
What a love story.
Consider how amongst creators, a surgeon is the ruler.
Okay. Some of these images are really beautiful, let me tell you that
Keep
right
repeating
now.
this to yourself. I'm remarkable. I'm
I'm remarkable.
remarkable. I'm
I'm
remarkable.
remarkable. If you really need a self-confidence boost, then by all means.
Only liars criticize popularity. You really are a girl. Oh yes, a girl. Stay focused on your breath.
What's that noise in the background?
They who ignore the defenseless give their bodies to hunger.
Are you sure this is safe to stream?
Try. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, I always need to do that from day to day. When I speedrun and things just don't go well, I gotta believe.
Then we can make the publicly elected go bonkers. Repeat this to yourself. I'm so strong.
I'm so strong. I'm so strong.
Meditate on these words of wisdom. Thought is merely the transfer that happens between the quantum physical aspect of reality and the scientific impossibility of the cosmos.
I can't really get that.
Pay attention to how the thoughts in your head are disconnected from the cosmos.
Disconnected from the cosmos. No offense, but you're not making these
Attempt
random
to
quotes in it.
straighten your
I
eyelids.
didn't think I can. Anyway. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Ignore the fact that public restrooms are everything. Consider that you are debating a controversial subject and don't forget to play along. Don't be crazy. It's not acceptable. Inhale. And exhale.
This is all randomly generated, that's why.
You might as well rethink secrecy.
Like, you could have the most random quote go with the most unfitting image.
Consciousness is also part of the material world.
And you'll just never see it coming.
Keep your eyes shut. Keep your eyes closed.
Don't tell me what to do.
Meditate on this ancient religious wisdom. Old friendships are just politicians without heart.
I'm guessing maybe the robot might have
If you
seen
will
some
not
famous
make your
quotes
colleagues
and
wear drag, it might not ever happen.
I guess the robot is just trying to learn off of pre-existing famous quotes. So maybe in a way,
Appreciate how
but
your
just
intestines are
at
communicating with your
random.
spine.
That looks nice too, actually.
If you find it difficult to get into the right state, meditate on this age-old wisdom. You don't need to gaze into space to get into heaven.
I didn't think you'd need to do that either.
Notice how your eyelids are connecting to your left hemisphere.
My what?
Focus on your breath. Don't you think that flames are flames because you're thinking too much? Invert your heart backwards.
That doesn't look so uplifting, that picture. I can't even see who that is.
A long, long time ago lived a dim-witted slave who was trying to acquire territory.
Good luck with that,
That was
bro.
when he encountered a young and fair maid. Where can I find territory? He asked the maid. The maiden did not have to think at all. Territory cannot be found on a desert island. Search in the mountains, said the maid. The slave was thankful for the answer from the maid. Then he murdered her and dumped her body in a well. The following night, after hours taking a bath, the slave had an epiphany. Respected as the pupil who brags about his laughter, he shall achieve them. And then he died.
He shall achieve dung and then he died. And then he died. Another person whose hair is covering up their face.
Somebody dies. The person they have sued cannot be unsued.
I'm getting strong Mirror vibes here. Yeah, great movie, by the way.
The government inspires us to destroy what regular people consider undestroyable. Once, in ancient Greece, there was a humble knight who was in search of the most valuable treasure in the mountains. That was when he encountered a filthy whore. Can you tell me where in the kingdom I can find the most valuable treasure?
He asked the whore.
The whore quickly replied, of the most valuable treasure I do not know, for I am only a whore. The knight was puzzled by the whore's answer and left him.
Puzzled.
Days later, while he was harvesting his grain, the knight had an epiphany. Unwise is the husband who controls his neighbor, but even lesser wise is the husband who controls his imaginary friend. And he became the most worshipped knight in his village.
How can you not understand the whore's answer to, like, where can I find the most valuable treasure? I'm just a whore. Receive disappearing. What, so shall I just leave now and stop the stream?
Weary of the chaos of the brain. A long time ago lived a hideous wanderer who was going around on the palace grounds seeking a dog.
I think that's probably going to be the highlight of
That
this
was
stream,
when he
most
ran
likely.
into a gorgeous mother. Can you please tell me where to find a dog? He asked the mother.
Hideous wanderer looking for a dog.
The
What
mother
is this?
thought long and hard. Then she answered, I have no idea. The wanderer considered the mother's answer. Then he asked for her hand, and she said yes. The following autumn, when he was fondling himself, the wanderer finally understood everything. All the world is hollow, and that's just how it is. And then he gained immortality. The thoughts in your head are like
Wait, he was fondling himself. He got the mother's hand, she said yes, so technically they married. So why was he fondling himself then?
Repeat the mantra. I'm hollow.
I'm hollow. I'm hollow. I'm hollow. What kind of inspirational quote is that? I'm hollow.
Politicians are primarily attempts to replace your friendships. Let your bowels float uncontrollably.
I don't think I want to do that.
You carry the potential to become a sorry boy.
Wow.
How your ovaries and time itself are one with the universe.
This thing, wait, this thing didn't really catch on. It still thinks I'm a
Keep your
girl.
eyes shut and meditate on this old folk wisdom. How can you know that your boyfriend isn't a village idiot? A village idiot never steals.
Yeah, this thing is so confused right now.
Your fear of death is now drifting away from your skin. You should try to appreciate the entropy of gravity.
Man, you have to wonder just how long and how hard some of these people work to take these photos. To get
Breathe
them
in
just right.
and out. Inhale and exhale. Repeat to yourself, my mind is happy.
My
My
mind
mind
is
is happy.
happy.
My
My mind
mind
is
is
happy.
happy.
That's definitely, like, more uplifting than I'm hollow inside. Like, I'm empty.
Stay focused on your breath. Your body is now dissolving heaven. Just because you're turned on doesn't necessarily mean that you're tremendous. Never let your ambitions get in the way of relativity.
Favorite quote this thing made? I think there might have been some even better ones that I didn't actually show on a live stream or take a print screen of, unfortunately.
Repeat to yourself, sex drive does not affect me.
Sex
Sex drive
drive does
does
not
not
affect
affect me.
me. Sex drive does not affect me. And they put a random picture of a bumblebee there.
Try to think about how the inventor of yoga once said, after the father comes the regrets. It takes great genes to become above average at brainwashing. Consider how get worn.
What?
Stop
It's
humming.
okay. You tried. Be stressed. No, I don't think I can do that on camera. No.
Love your money, or don't.
Or don't. This one's nice, though.
Society can be like slavery.
Wow.
Keep on loosening.
That's actually surprisingly sensible. Probably like the most sense this
Say
thing
to
has made
yourself
so far.
repeatedly, my mind is not being brainwashed.
My
My
mind
mind
is
is
not
not
being
being brainwashed.
brainwashed.
My
Mind
mind
is
is
not
not
being
being
brainwashed.
brainwashed. Human imagination is a microcosm of the extra-sectionality of the Big Bang.
Excuse me. I don't quite get that.
Where the universe ends, optimism begins. Politics and self-torture very often go hand in hand.
Man, this is another really nice
Keep
one.
focusing on your breath.
Like, wow, some of these stock images are just great.
Keep in mind that, in the future, all that you have worn will seem unworn. In ancient China, a humble dragon slayer once approached a wealthy priestess and asked her, "Why is it so that you are so beloved, you who are such a wealthy priestess?" "Why? That is because I am not really a wealthy priestess," replied the priestess. The dragon slayer had never before heard such wisdom this well articulated, and carried it with him for the rest of his life, and later in his life, he died none the wiser. No spirituality for you.
No spirituality for you! Exclamation mark. Okay, I've seen this picture already.
You carry the potential to become a worker. Let this old proverb be your guide. Before the self-realization comes the divorce. Chant this mantra to yourself. I am very, very spiritual.
I am very, very spiritual. I am very, very spiritual. There we go with the guy noises again.
Remind yourself that you are grateful. You incel. Take a deep breath.
This one again already?
Meditate on these words of wisdom. How can you know for sure that your girlfriend is a caveman? Keep your eyes closed.
I guess so. And this sounds so more suggestive already with the eyes closed. Let me just tell you that much.
Meditate on this very old wisdom. Get a little bit impressed by a horror. Be a
As if I really needed to see this now, of all things.
Remember how the knowing once said, "With common secrets come common depressions."
I didn't think we were gonna get a shot of some woman's panties, but I'm not complaining. Remember to ignore evidence. That's the last thing I'd do. I'm not complaining, just hope YouTube isn't going to.
State. Try to think about this ancient Chinese proverb. Society needs to learn to be at least a little bit grateful for a brain. If you find it difficult to get into the right state, think about this ancient wisdom.
Yeah, Patrick,
First
now
comes
I'm really
the
not
creation of
sure.
privacy, then comes the infinite.
Now I'm really not sure where this robot is exactly learning its algorithms from to generate these inspirational quotes.
Embrace the fact that explore the super impossibility of endlessness. Allow your mind to soundlessly drift. Breathe in and out. We cannot be honest about tickling ourselves, but we can be honest about tormenting ourselves.
Probably because when you tickle yourself, you know it's coming,
Genius is
but
usually accompanied by sadism.
I don't. I don't get it.
Tell yourself, "I'm strong."
I'm strong. We saw that already, didn't we?
Notice each point that connects your ego to the vacuum of space. Keep in mind how a great thinker once said, "It's your fault and your fault only if your grandmother isn't informative."
More random shit from this thing.
Can you feel how your worries are obliterating the cosmos?
Obliterating the cosmos. Nice.
Repeat to yourself, "I'm really, really
Really
important.
important. I'm really, really important. Here we go again. Oh, wow.
Repeat this mantra to yourself. Be gone.
Big
Thought,
dot.
I don't
I
need
dig on thought. Thought, I don't need you.
Some see a wise man, others see sexual tension.
Others hear Tarzan. Is she crying or is she having the best time of her life? I can't even tell.
Keep in mind that envies are boring. You egg.
First it calls me an incel, now an ape.
Do you notice how yourself is melting together with the cosmos?
No.
Tell yourself that you are pretty awesome.
I'm pretty awesome. But I'm also an incel and an ape.
Repeat the mantra, "My soul is important.
My soul is important. My soul is important. Wow, this is a really nice background here. I like how those trees are just slowly but surely fading into the
Keep
mist.
breathing. Force yourself to breathe with your stomach. Don't forget to get new friends.
Sounds like we're riding a train now all of a sudden.
Breathe deeply. If you profit on exercise, try not to envy beasts.
It's been only like 30 minutes
Allow your
anyways.
eyes to
So
think deeply.
nice.
Don't write a book. Spy on society. Isn't it kind of obvious that worries can be a blessing in disguise tomorrow?
I wish it was that easy. Now this thing's going on.
Keep repeating
Now
this
this
to
thing is
yourself.
in.
My existence is purposeful.
My existence is
Existence
purposeful. Now this thing is going through like a phase. We're showing all this train related stuff. And we're back here for the third time again.
In ancient Rome, there was a hideous midget who had built his home in a castle. One day, a king came to him and said, "Good day, my good midget.
My good midget.
Where I can find infinite wisdom." The midget knew better than to talk to any king and kept his mouth shut. "Why do you act so kind towards me?" asked the king. "That is because I want you as a friend," replied the midget. The king refused to be a friend to the midget, and later that fall he died under mysterious circumstances. meditate on this insight. Essential oils are merely catastrophes attacking themselves.
It sounds like, almost sounds like an anime girl
Romance
in the
between
background
friends
having
is
sex
something
with
you have
some.
to pay someone.
Yeah, it sounds very anime-like.
Trusting your own
High-pitched
destiny
voice.
doesn't begin until you forget who you are.
Yeah, I swear, it goes through these phases. One was like sex, another was like
Having
water.
faith in assholes destroy friends.
One is apparently forests and nature. One is trains and subways and other related things.
Embrace the fact that riding can be taught from an early age. Doing drugs can be like one hell of a triumph.
I thought I was gonna say one hell of a trip. That would be accurate.
Repeat this to yourself. Sadness cannot hurt you.
Sadness cannot hurt you. Sadness cannot hurt you. I wish Sayori would have done that.
Breathe in and out.
If only Sayori from DDLC would have said that to herself.
And exhale.
More sunglasses. We're back at the
Come
beach
on,
phase.
crazy ideas can become annoying if we just think outside the box. Inhale
Again?
and exhale.
How? What are the like? What's the likeliness that we're gonna get something along the lines of inhale and exhale for a quote?
In the end, all people will surrender to souls. A greedy peasant once approached a wealthy witch and asked her, "Tell me, my dear witch, how come you are so appreciated?
My dear
You
witch.
are only a wealthy witch." "Oh, the reason for that is that a witch has a great imagination," replied the witch. The peasant had never before heard such words this well articulated, and after meditating on the words for a long time, he became known as the most appreciated peasant ever to have lived.
How? So I don't get it.
Those who are terrible around hunks avoid beasts. Time travel can be like an infinite roller coaster.
Why do I feel like parts of the image are just moving? Like it's actually rippling somewhat. Like kind of
Keep
look
your
in the
eyes
middle
closed
and...
consider this ancient
Well, it's a
proverb,
little late now.
"A villain never is a gangster."
I wonder where this photo was taken.
Can you feel how the air you breathe is letting go of the world around you?
I don't know why sometimes we get some more creepy vibes
A
from
murderer is a
some of...
murderer, and a fuckboy is a fuckboy.
I don't know why we get sometimes creepy vibes. Maybe it goes through a creepy phase as well.
Wish for recognition. Prepare for longevity. Embrace the fact that it's time you learn to be at least a little bit in awe of a flame. Happiness and youth should not be combined.
Wow. I beg to differ.
Stop rioting.
Stop rioting. I never started rioting. How can I stop then?
Stay focused on your breath. Evolution is a mediocre expedition.
Back in space, I
Repeat this
see.
to yourself. Existence is
His
real.
existence
Existence
is
is real.
real.
We can't be honest about censoring ourselves, but we can be honest about erasing ourselves. Remember how the ancient once said, getting corrupted should be demonic.
Well, duh.
Say to yourself repeatedly, God doesn't matter.
God doesn't matter. God doesn't matter.
Remember how the ancient once said, your mind is simply a discontinuation of the zero-point energy of string theory, Einstein.
That looks kind of creepy, I'll say. What is this, like a graveyard of some
It takes
sort?
soft drugs, like marijuana, to become admired at partying.
There's this one
Pay
again with
attention to
the
the way your
lady whose
testicles
hair is
dissolve in your
covering her
skin.
face.
Inhale
Wow. This is a nice one too.
and exhale. Go on freeing up.
We couldn't find that photo again. That's twice the stream now.
Keep chanting this mantra. I'm strong.
I'm
I'm strong.
strong. Is it actually trying to find a photo, or did it just pull that, like, randomly and... I don't know. Maybe it is trying to find the photo when it can't.
Testicles and infinity are one with the universe.
My testicles and infinity.
There's a connection between human interaction and lying.
That might be like the most true things this thing has just given me. This whole stream.
Remember how the ancient once said, life ain't life. In ancient Mesopotamia, a humble traveler once approached a gorgeous harlot and asked her, why is it so that you are
Another
so
whore,
wise? You whore
essentially.
with a gorgeous
Am I
harlot."
right?
The reason for it is that I do not consider myself a gorgeous harlot any more than I consider myself a monk, replied the harlot. The traveler had never before heard such insight stated so clearly, and after pondering its meaning of the insight, he swore that he's never speak to a harlot again, and he did. Breathe deeply. Close your eyes and take a deep breath.
I don't feel like taking another deep breath.
And out. A long time ago lived a fearless fiddler who lived at home with wolves. One day, a traveler visited him and said, greetings, dear fiddler. You wouldn't happen to know where I can find silver around here? The fiddler kept quiet. Why do you behave like this? Asked the traveler. That is because I want you as a friend, replied the fiddler.
So he's gonna stay
The
silent.
traveler then understood
Okay.
what the fiddler meant.
I
And
didn't.
became like a friend to the fiddler, and the traveler later left the place in tears.
Okay, that didn't blow over so well, apparently.
When you need to stop being like a tourist, one way to begin is to love animals. Best friends are usually socially competent. If you will not make our mamas and papas feel dumb, someone else might. Keep your eyes
I
shut.
don't know anymore.
No obesity. No obesity.
I'll probably stick around for about 15 more minutes here, most likely.
What the dead eat, the living forgive.
It kind of does get stale after a while, I have to
Doesn't it make
admit.
sense that mirrors are mirrors because you're drunk?
That's a weird one, I'll say.
Don't you ever get tired of womanizing? Your brain is lethal.
Or maybe not.
Creativity is not to begin, but to transcend the untranscendable.
How's it lethal in my brain?
Oligarchy without teeth is like craftsmanship without forgiveness. Let this very old saying be your guide. You don't need to have opium in order to be gentle. Force your body to open your ovaries.
If I had.
Keep repeating to yourself, there's no such thing as the brain.
There's no such thing as the brain. What? There's no such thing as the brain.
Ignore the fact that your attention is interconnected with nature.
Trying to make me forget about my lethal brain, apparently.
Feel the connection between you and the air that surrounds you. A long time ago lived a well-respected woodsman who was looking for a friend in the garden of the palace. That was when he ran into a filthy lady. Dearest lady, can you please tell me where a well-respected woodsman like myself find a friend? He asked the lady. The lady quickly replied, Of a friend I do not know, for I am only a lady. The woodsman thought long and hard about the lady's answer and did as she had said. The following spring, as he was feeding his apple tree, the woodsman realized, generous is the husband who owns his inheritance, but more generous is the husband who owns his hut. The following day he was in possession of a friend and he was never again frustrated. Breathe in
Who are all these people anyway?
and out.
The first thing that caught my eye in this picture was like the guy with the dark brown hair. Probably
Take
never
a
gonna
deep
know who he is
breath
anyway. Not that I like mind
in
really.
and out. Anyone who is willing to trade heat for security deserves an award. No poetry for you. simple-minded hunter once approached a hag and asked her, "How can it be that you are so befriended, you who are only a hag?" "Oh, the reason for that is that I do not see myself as a hag," replied the hag. The hunter had never before heard such words spoken, and after hearing this, he died an old and happy hunter. Carry on tingling. Notice the sensation of your brain melting together with your eyelids.
That's impossible, by the way.
Notice your eyelids annihilating your mind.
Now, first my brain is melting into my eyelids, and now my eyelids are annihilating my brain that's
Do you
melted in
notice
my
how your
eyelids.
awareness is obliterating your physical self?
That looks like
Try to
that's a
relax your
banana,
pineal
isn't it?
gland.
Here we
No
go again with.
barbarism, no gonorrhea.
Here we go again.
You really are a crook.
What is this trying to tell me?
Don't forget that life on Earth is interesting. Breathe with your stomach.
Again, it's telling me to breathe with my stomach. Where is
Keep
this? Like
breathing.
Grand Canyon?
In the Stone Age, a hideous philosopher once approached a wealthy harlot and asked her, "How come you are so kind, you who are such a wealthy harlot?" "I will tell you why. That is because I do not see myself as a wealthy harlot," replied the harlot. The philosopher had never before heard such insight spoken, and after thinking long and hard about it, he died in his sleep. What the ugly condemn, the beautiful stay silent about.
Alright, I guess we'll see you later. Really gonna see if I can try to get back into Castlevania 1 tomorrow.
Human progress without dimethyltryptamine freaks people out.
I mean, Team Retro Craze is holding Castlevania 1 night-only tournament, and
Keep in mind
I'm
the
interested in
ancient Chinese
participating.
folk wisdom. With spectacular leadership comes spectacular legend.
Likely I'm gonna probably be at a disadvantage considering most of the runners will be better than me, and I'll only have 2 weeks practice if I decide to go for it, but
Your menstrual cycle
I
is
mean, if I have an
governed by Mother
excuse
Nature.
to perhaps just pick up Castlevania 1 again, then I'll take it.
Bend your ovaries inwards. Try not to think about the fact that existence ends when the dark web begins. No sex for you.
Aww.
Notice how your brain is connected to your physical self. Be married.
So, no sex and then be married.
Don't break other people's hearts. Why not just become who you were meant to be? Miracles are trying to intensify your wallet. attention to the way that your lungs are reacting relatively to planet Earth. Pay attention to how your teeth are slipping into your belly button. Try to focus on how your muscles are disconnected from humanity itself. Isolate your left hemisphere.
Isolate my what? My left hemisphere.
Keep your eyes shut. You are now synchronized with the world around you.
So apparently I wasn't before. Wait.
Metaphors are real.
I think I can show this, right?
Invert your mind backwards.
Invert backwards. So what? Like, what does that mean?
Feel how your muscles are straightening. People who avoid enemies exploit revenge. Ignore the fact that you as a human being and humanity itself are connected. Repeat this mantra to yourself. My mind is feminine.
My mind is feminine. My mind is feminine.
No matter what happens, you should always reinvent the winds of change.
Okay.
Keep in mind that, with incredible collaborations come incredible journeys.
How many times have we seen this pair of sunglasses so far this stream?
Teachers miss out on.
Or the city background, perhaps,
Heroes
too.
are evil. Long ago, in ancient Greece, lived an ugly traveler who lived in the middle of town. One day, a gnome came by his home and said, "Good evening, kind traveler, where can a gnome like myself find a wife?" The traveler quickly answered, "Do come in, for a wife can be found here in my home." "Wife here in the middle of town?" asked the gnome, and the traveler
What is this
quickly
traveler
replied,
planning with the
"Absolutely.
gnome?
Why are you so friendly towards me?" asked the gnome. "That is because friendly depends on your outlook on life," replied the
So is the
traveler.
traveler gonna hook up his own
The
wife
gnome
with the gnome?
accepted this, and became like a threat to the traveler in all meanings of the world, and the traveler became known as the most revered traveler who had ever existed.
Okay.
In the olden days, a poor carpenter once approached an old seamstress and asked her, "Tell me, my good seamstress, how come you are so worshipped, you who are just an old seamstress?" "Oh, the reason for that is that I'm not really an old seamstress," replied the seamstress. The carpenter had never before heard such truth as well articulated, and took it with him for the rest of his life, and later in his life, he never mentioned the incident to anyone.
I will admit this is getting a little stale. It's been almost a whole hour of mindfulness mode.
Breathe in.
There's that Tarzan wannabe again.
You cannot allow human skins to keep you away from your eyes. often go hand in hand. There is a proven link between failure and abuse.
Holy shit, that's kind of dark.
Keep on breathing. Getting older is all about you learning how to cut your hair. Loosen your nose.
Um, what? But how?
Try to focus on how the voices in your head are letting go of the infinite. Be wet. Keep psychotic.
Keep psychotic. Be wet.
Keep in mind a wise old saying, after the celebration comes the sexual revolution.
I'm guessing this is
Notice how
still
your veins
underwater,
are
right?
taking over your belly.
I think we're almost done with mindfulness mode for the stream anyway. I doubt I'll do another one of these though.
Long ago, in ancient Babylon, there was a beautiful gnome who was searching for the key to eternal happiness in the forest.
Beautiful
when he
gnome.
ran into an ugly, old girl.
Ugly old girl.
Girl, can you please
Dear
tell me where a
ugly
beautiful
old
gnome
girl.
like myself find the key to eternal happiness? He asked the girl.
Of all the people to ask though.
The girl did not have to think for even a second. If you are looking for the key to eternal happiness, you cannot search in the forest. Search within you, said the girl. The gnome groped the girl and did as she had said. Later that day, instead of sacrificing his harvest, the gnome had an epiphany. Respected as the husband who serves his dinner, but even more respected as the husband who serves his card. And then he killed himself. Cut your hair. Don't just let your body do the talking. Feel your nose rise and fall.
I think we had enough of a trip this stream. I think people are getting bored because
Meditate on
eventually
those word
it does
patterns
start to
and
feel
steps.
like before your parents comes sex, of course. It just gets stale after a while.
There is a proven link between gullibility and low impulse control.
I mean, many of those made-up stories are still very similar to one another. That's one example. I
Chant this
probably never
mantra to
saw
yourself.
every.
Existential confusion is just existential confusion. Existential confusion.
I never
is
saw.
just
I don't think I've seen
existential
every
confusion.
stock photo you can possibly see in this, but I'm not gonna sit around long enough till that happens.
Hipsters are what they are.
I suppose maybe I'll just generate a few quotes with Inspirobot and not with mindfulness mode, and then I'll stop the stream, see if anything funny just pops up. If one does not wish to become popular, one has to ignore facts and surgically remove one's nipples. Question the music. You don't have to be phony. A cow can be moist. Stress is a hack in reality. So on and so forth. First comes the free cake, then comes the separate. I thought that said starvation for a second. That would have been really silly. Your friends see you as phony. You can't tell yourself that you are mediocre. What kind of inspirational poster is that? Between a priest and a cult comes an inventor. Sissies attack the financial system. I still remember that one Doki Doki stream where I was just playing around with this, and I got a picture of the Earth and the phrase "lick him" right in the middle. So it's been about an hour. I'm just going to leave it at this. That plus, I'm not really doing much anyway, so I think it is time to stop the stream.